Thank you, Mike Shriver. I said to Michael earlier that at 1988, when that happened, if anybody had ever said to me that we would now, 29 years hence, not have had an absolute cure for AIDS, I would have said, you must be crazy. It can't possibly be so. But we have made some progress. First, I just want to say happy I'm here to be with my granddaughter, Bella, Christine's daughter. Hey, Bella. She's there with Tom, whom we call Uncle Fun, Tom Kelly. But I do want to say how wonderful it is to be here with some great leaders of our community, Senator Weiner, Assemblyman Chu, and Supervisor Sheehy. Thank you all for being here this morning as well. John Cunningham, thank you for tremendous leadership. My friend Mike Sheehy, whom I've known forever, he takes us back, and we all have to. I accept your compliment on behalf of our community, because it was the San Francisco community that was the intellectual resource to the nation for community-based care, prevention, and research. The community-based ending of discrimination. And everything we did there was informed, led by all of you. And of course, many of you are very young, weren't even born then, but all of those who went before you. So this, when we did this park, the National AIDS Memorial, I was saying to them earlier, it's so funny to me because it's such a phenomenal renewal and life and remembrance and all of that. But when we went to make it a National AIDS Memorial, people from other cities were saying, well, why should San Francisco have that designation? Why should San Francisco have that designation? Because that's who we are. We care about people, and we want to remember them. And we will never forget so much of the loss that was suffered. Some of you, not many because you all look so young, remember when we were going to 2 funerals a day. A day. It was just a battle we were in. Now, what I'm going to say right now, I'll put up a sign, is very self-serving. My elected family, official family members belong. It's a very self-serving story I'm going to tell you. But when I went to Congress, this 1987, we were just in the start of a horrible thing with very few opportunities. And so when I went there, they said to me, when you get sworn in, because it was a special election, when you get sworn in, don't say anything. Just say yes. Do you solemnly swear and all that? Just say yes. So then I said, yeah, I do. Uphold the Constitution, etc. And then the speaker said, does the gentle lady from California wish to address the House? So I said, well, I had to turn down a microphone. And Mike knows this story so well. So I go to the microphone, and I think, the very same people who said, don't say a word, don't take up anybody's time, don't say anything, they were saying, be short, be really short. These people are saying to me, be short. These are members of Congress saying to me, be short. So I said, you don't remember my campaign slogan is a voice that will be heard, but be short. Okay. So I go to the microphone. I thank my parents who were there, the constituents who sent me to Congress. And then I told my constituents that when I came here, I would tell you that Sala sent me. Sala was the former member. That Sala sent me, and I came here to fight against HIV and AIDS. Thank you. So I sit down, and I'm like looking at these people thinking, was that short? That's probably the shortest speech that's ever been made in Congress. Oh, downcast faces. I said, what's the matter with you? Why would you want that to be the first thing you were identified in with Congress? Why did you say that was why you came here? I said it because it is why I came here.
Yes.
So it is like, self-serving as that story is, I mention it because even then, people still had that attitude. And I knew that not only did we have to get money for prevention, research, and care, and vaccine, but also to end discrimination. That was such a big thing to end the discrimination. And we went on to do many things, housing opportunities with people with AIDS. Hopwell, you probably haven't heard that, but that was a big deal. And you know where the idea came from? San Francisco. So when you look at the Ryan White Care Act, all of that, San Francisco. San Francisco. So we think that it's appropriate that the National AIDS Memorial Grove is in San Francisco. And 5 years ago, when some of us were here together, and now an ever-widening circle of friends, I said at the time, and now we need a National AIDS Museum in San Francisco. Because it's who we are, but also because the place that AIDS belongs is in a museum. We want it to be we want it to be something that we can look back on and say, for a certain period of time, we had this scientific challenge that became a social challenge as well in terms of families' acceptance and all the rest. But nonetheless, we do not want to forget the sacrifices that were made by people in the beginning, the brilliant intellects that applied themselves to this, the suffering that families have had because this was over time, and so many of our friends whom we lost. And what do? We're here now at a place. Mike Shriver says that he's 31 years. I want to acknowledge Dan Bernal of my staff. Dan, how long, Dan?
27.
27 years, Dan Bernal, a district representative. So we have been able to have a maintenance of a quality of life that keeps us here until that intervention. Now, this AIDS epidemic, this AIDS virus is a very resourceful virus. Just when you think you have it, it mutates. So we have to be very resourceful in how we fight it. And that's why we have to fight the cut of $7 billion in the National Institutes of Health budget that is being proposed, 1/5 of the budget. But not to get into that today. Push back. Push back. I want to take us back to where John had us in the beginning so beautifully, and thank you for your wonderful, magnificent service. Thank you so much, John. I visited Pulse right after the shootings. I signed on behalf of all of you the wall there at the site. San Francisco came to pay its respects. I've met with the families both there and in D.C., and they too, for all of the concern that we had of it being a hate crimes, which it was a hate crime, they wanted to use their voices to reduce violence in our country. That has been so much a part of the family message. And so now we have the 1 year anniversary, such a horrible thing, young people gathering together in a camaraderie, spirit, fun, joy, and to have that assault just shows you how much more work that we have to do. And maybe people will see what they thought maybe had we passed somewhat and redouble efforts to, again, be respectful of people. Because, and I'll close with this, because when I go around the country, people say to me, it's easy for you. You're from San Francisco. People are so tolerant there. And I say, you know what? I hate the word tolerant. Really, it's so condescending. That's not what we are. We're not tolerant of, I mean, it's a nice word in certain, compared to some things, let's put it that way. But it's not about tolerance. It's about respect that we have. And not only that, it's about taking pride. And everybody who worked on this AIDS epidemic, HIV and AIDS, over the years, I give credit to everyone, and many of you, for what happened after. I think that organization, that people coming together, trying to end the discrimination, were largely responsible for some of the successes we would have. Labor, fully inclusive, hate crimes legislation, repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, marriage equality. Take credit for that, because the march, the resistance, the pushing back, the coming together, the sharing of values, really has made our country a freer place, freer of some of the discrimination. So call yourselves patriots, for ending discrimination makes America more American. So thank you for all of that. But we're like a family to each other, because we have some other folks that we still have to convince of our family values, which we take great pride in. But in any event, I want you to know the pride that I take in representing all of you in the Congress of the United States, either if you're in my district or not, just representing your values. And as I've said to my colleagues, there's no honor, whether it's being speaker or leader or whatever, which is a great honor, but nothing to compare with the people of San Francisco saying, we want you to speak for us on the floor of the House of Representatives. To be the representative of San Francisco, what could be greater than that? So thank you all very much for this, for being here today. And we're going to go, we have a white rose I'm going to place on the name of my, a little girl who was flower girl in my wedding over 50 years ago. Little girl, she was in my wedding, and then she contracted AIDS. I never asked her how, I don't know. But she made it her life's work in all of her 20s to visit schools and talk to kids about prevention and trying to end discrimination and the rest of that. And then she left us, but her name is memorialized here, and it's a close family connection to me, as all of you are. And I know that all of these names that we have here, when we come to AIDS Memorial, it has to be a comfort to their families that we do not forget and are not energized by the sorrow, turning grief into action, helping save lives. You're the best. Thank you all very much.